Score, wait for it. Yeah, it's back to the foreskins. There's a reason, there's a reason. I'm going to switch it off. So I'm just probably, let's give it on, eh? So this is like the BBC and the media in the UK. I thought I'd go back on the foreskins. We've done the foreskins before, eh? Now these guys, how can I put it? These guys were deemed as right-wing fascist type Nazis because they dared to sing about what happened. So I've gone through it here. I'm going to get to the stabbing in the UK and everything else in a minute. I'm going to try and make it brief because I've had a cider today. I've been busy in my bar. So these basically, I've got to get it right. Let's have a look. So these guys basically came from East End of London, right? So they basically sung about what was going on. So content drew from the realities of inner city life, unemployment and the policing. So in the policing you'll actually see in one of them, you've got dirty fingernails today, ACAB, all coppers are bastards. Yeah, that was theirs. But he did say at the end, not all coppers are bastards, and he went on to say something else. So these guys basically talked about their life where they grew up in East End of London, right? That badge came from these guys because the press, the BBC were horrendous with these people. It was just really, really bad. Because what happened was in 1981, and it's the fire at the Hamborough Tavern in Southall. Now Southall in 1981, and it still is, heavily influenced by the Asian community. They didn't want them there. They didn't want them there. They incited the violence. How do I know? I heard it firsthand because I used to hang out with some Harlow skins, right? I think they're West London, or I could be wrong. But they used to come up to my hometown and hang out. And they said they were at the gig. And I've mentioned this before, and then all these Asians came in and they started that fire. But in all of the press, including the BBC, these right-wing thugs, not the Asian community, the right-wing thugs. I've got to be quiet. I don't get it. Let's put something else on from them, shall we? Now, when you actually look at them, and I've got here a quote from them, you've got to bear with me because I want to get it right. And in there, this is from their album, of course, it says, "We don't incite violence, we talk about what happens." The album was already out, and then the Asians caused that problem. So that leads me on to the stabbing of them 11 people on that train, including the guy that I'd done him, I would have done. I've got to get this right as well. Stabbing of 11 people. The Labour government, I think it was Keir Starmer, came out and said he was a British national. Now, get this in perspective, folks. He was a British national, but the Patriot rally, which I keep going on about, do I not? You just right-wing racist thugs. So all the people that turned up to a non-violent event are right-wing thugs, racist thugs. But when you stab 11 people on a fucking train, you're a British national. You get their spin. Their spin is evil. They are evil. You get it? You get what I'm saying? It's how they spin it. And the BBC spins it. I had to get it right. I had to write it down because I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe they actually said he's a British national. Now, it's going to be pretty obvious because they're not giving out his background. A normal British person, even Sutcliffe, the serial killer, did not go out and blatantly fucking try and stab 11 people. He did it on the quiet. Very bad. I know, I'm trying not to laugh because the comparisons are different. A serial killer who is British, I get. You get where I'm coming from? Yet this guy, he may be British, but I bet he was radicalised, guaranteed 100% radicalised somewhere down the line. No normal British person does this shit. Do they? Do they? Jeez, you get that. Just do the fucking cunt. So you get with the BBC and the mainstream media getting on with the BBC. Back to the foreskins. I love it because they were four skinheads. I love the pun. And to this day, that's the reason I got that badge, because I knew they weren't racist. I was a skinhead. Oi. I loved oi music more so than I did the skinhead, the punk scene. And deemed a racist because you listen to that music. If you listen to their lyrics to this day, they never incited violence, ever. But can you imagine coming from an inner city like East End London's obviously unrecognisable now. And they were talking about ACA, all coppers and bastards, all of that. But anyway, getting to the BBC. The BBC, I've told you this in the past, when I moved back to the UK, I had no contract with them. They tried to bully me into having a contract, and I said no. He came to the door twice, and I told him to fuck off, otherwise I'll put a trespass order on him, which you can do, because it's not law that you have to have a BBC licence. And the BBC are evil. Look what they've done to Tommy Robinson, what they've done to Katie Hopkins. The list just goes on and on and on. And now you've got the Donald Trump thing. It's hard to keep up, eh? It's really hard to keep up. So they doctored that video, and there was it 54 or 56 minutes between what he said in the first instance and then he said at the end, and they had no bearing on each other. Yeah, everyone was saying, oh, he's inciting violence, let's go fight. You see what I mean? The BBC, but then the ITV, they're all in this fucking game. I wish I knew back then with the Foreskins and other oi bands that even the NME had the front page of the NME. Violence erupted with these thugs. I forget the exact term. I kept that front page for years. You're all being conned. You're all being pushed in a narrative. You're all being told that people like me, we're right-wing Nazis and we're not. They're the arseholes. They're the ones causing this trouble. They're the ones importing the trouble. Second, third generation, I don't care. And didn't you get, there was nothing really on the news, the matter, because I do follow BBC and ITV, see what they push. Mahidi Mahudu, our defence secretary, and I told you, when that mosque was attacked, no one died at all. She gave taxpayers' money of yours, 10 million, just like that, for security cameras and that around the country. What about them 3 fucking poor Jewish people that died? And on that, I had people around the bar the other day who are being driven by the lefties who fucking listen to shit. And then we've got a DJ, mate, I'm not going to mention his name out here, who feels isolated because he's Jewish. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? I dared to mention this morning to a friend who didn't disagree with me. He's married to a Jewish lady. And it's back to Muslims. Muslims are good in their own country, their own culture, get on with it. Moving to someone else's culture. Now, this is going to sound really bad, and I don't mean it that way, because the violence that was inside was disgusting. But whenever you have Muslims turn up in a country, there's trouble. Whether the trouble goes to them or they go to the trouble. And we had that horrendous attacks in that mosque, and I dared to say to him, why are Muslims in a country that's predominantly Christian? I don't get it. I don't get why they want to move from their culture to someone else's culture to then try to preserve their culture. That was horrific. It was terrible. But I'm just saying, there's always fucking trouble. So these Pakistanis that had a go at the foreskins, and the foreskins got the... They're not hateful. I know you might think, oh look, it's energy and it's bad, it's not good. They're just frustrated then young men. Frustrated young men live in an environment, and they were forgotten people, and they're still forgotten. But now they're so forgotten that East End of London is not what you think. And don't watch EastEnders thinking that's all happy gay people in gay bars. You've got another thing fucking coming. BBC, what they do, what they say, driven by the government, and it is driven by the government. It's not government funded, it's you government. You pay for this shit, and then you listen to it. And then you criticise me when I don't follow that lead. Foreskins. No! The band. Them was probably the best oi band ever. And they were slated and slandered. All sorts of shit went on. So I'm going to finish. Oh, I had a change in here. I've got a sink. I finally got the sink to go with the dark room. I've got to plumb it in next. So I've got all my shit in here. I have my sewing machine. I'm the Duncan and Gary Sunday workshop. But it's starting to work. We had the party on Sunday, which was really good, and 40 people turned up. Just think, media. BBC. They'll get away with it. They did it on Tommy Robinson. You know, there was an expose on Tommy Robinson, and he called them out that they got people in to basically make things up about him, and he exposed it. It's on YouTube. It's all there. It's documented. And now he's been exonerated as not a terrorist. And the narrative is with the media, Tommy Robinson acquitted. That's it. Nothing else. Them was probably were waiting for him to be put back in prison under the Terrorism Act. And he's not a terrorist. He is a modern day Foreskins. He comes from Luton. He talks about his background, where he comes from and what happens, what he's seen, the rape gangs and all of that. Like, oh, I can't say that word, eh? So he's a modern version of what they sing about. They sung about coppers, ACAB and all that stuff, and the violence and the forgotten generation of kids. I don't get this world anymore. But hey ho, I had a party, we had fun. Yeah, Rusty's still here. I'm having that. I'm now going because I need another wine. Cider. No more videos. Say, I'm not going to die, I want to die. They're singing now about they don't actually want. So a government that says you're going to war, they're saying I don't want to die, I don't want to go to war. You caused the war and we've got to fight for it. And dignity. So this is about, I was talking about this in the gym this morning. He didn't want to die, World War III. It was a real threat in the UK, and it's only politicians, I'm off again, I know. It was only politicians. No one fucking wanted it. I got the leaflet through the door. Look at When the Wind Blows. It shows the complete bullshit about it. And John Mills was the main star. It's an animation. It was a film. It's brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It shows how stupid it all got, but it also showed how stay safe. Take a door off, put it at an angle down there, you'll be safe. And they said in the film, but we had Anderson shelters and stuff, steel shelters, and yeah, I had the leaflet. Take the door off, put it at a 45-degree angle. If one of your loved ones die, put them in a plastic bag and stick them out the front. That was it. And that was a true leaflet drop, and that's what they're singing about. Oh, governments don't like that, eh? I don't want to die in a nuclear war. Have a good one, folks. You take care, have a think. Have a good think when they tell you